This is Zichru Daf Simanim, Gemara Sanhedrin Daf Lamed. And of course, Lamed is going to be what? A Melamed. A Rebbe. And what's the Rebbe going to be teaching in Gemara Sanhedrin? Of course, it's going to be a Mak Bezdin, a Mak Sanhedrin, and halachas about the Sanhedrin. So we have three boys over here acting as Dayanim. You see them wearing their wonderful, beautiful beards. And point number one, the Rebbe teaches them is be careful how you write down the verdict. We want to be careful of rechilas. We see the picture of the Chafetz Chaim on the board. And point number two is there are two different boys acting as Eidim, but each one saw the halva on different days. You see over here on Sunday and on Monday, and the machlekes if they have to witness it together or they have to testify together. So Daf Lamed, the Melamed, what is the Melamed teaching us? How the Bezdin writes down the verdict. Be careful about rechilas. Point number 2 and 3, do witnesses have to see it together or do witnesses have to testify together? As you see the court schedule on the wall, witness number 1 is going to come a different day than witness number 2. So Daf Lamed, the Melamed, the Mak Sanhedrin over here, number 1 is the machlekes, how do we write down the verdict? The Mishnah Daf Chavtes taught us the verdict is issued to the parties without mentioning the names. As a judge cannot say, I was a judge in your favor, but I was outvoted. Why? Because that would be rechilas. The Gemara says, how do you write it? We have 3 shitas. Rav Yochanan says he writes zakai. Rish Lakish says that they explicitly write the opinion of each judge. Rav Lazar says, Midivreim nizdakya bloini. From the words, bloini was not chayiv. Gemara explains, Rav Yochanan holds that they write zakai to avoid why loiselech rachel. Rish Lakish holds michzaki kishikra. We don't want it to appear falsely, so we have to write each opinion. Rav Lazar is worried about both, and therefore they write through their words. Plain he is zakai. So again, Daf Lamed, the Melamed, the Rebbe, and this Mak Sanhedrin teach them how to write down the verdict. Be careful of rechilas. Point number 2 is the Eidim have to see the story together. Have to see it at one time. Shemekarcha argued, even if they see it one after another. The Gemara explains first about like is misvara tamikam also amna the komisadi hi look komisadi hi. On each mana they're testifying separately. Rishuba Karcha holds no. Amana ba komisadi. He's testifying about amanas. Who cares? Another way of looking at it is vu'aid. This means a pair of witnesses. Ad chazu tarvayu kichad. Amar argues by karka or even by halvayos. Nardai says we go with this in all cases. Point number 3 is that's if they have to see the story together. What about testifying together? Says the Brisa, and they do some miskams the bezin and shiyidu shneim keechad. Rav Nassan argues says no. Who cares when we hear it? The Gemara explains the first machlek is misvar tanikamos ad echad ki asi l'shvuasi and l'mamayna loyasi. So they're coming for different purposes. Just as both cannot testify b'chad puma, so there's no problem if they come in one after another. So Daf Lamed, the Melamed, is teaching the boys acting in Sanhedrin. Number 1, how do you write down the verdict? Be careful. The Chafetz Chaim over here on the board, be careful about rechilas. Point number 2, do you have to witness the act together, or is it enough that they testify in the same manner? Point number 3, could they testify in Bezin one day after the next? Daf Lamed, the Melamed in Gemara Sanhedrin.